Good morning. Um, Wednesday? Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. Um, I don't know. This week has been already kind of a blur, but I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. I had trouble again getting into the computer. I don't know. I think I've forgotten how to do things or something. I couldn't remember my password. It's confusing. I have a couple different computers and um, like a laptop, a desktop. They're locked differently, different passwords. I'm not sure why. That doesn't seem like it makes sense. I feel like I'm being ultra secure in my home house location, but uh, there you go. So um, I, I guess it's not a bad idea, right? Computer security is an important thing. I just watched something recently about that whole um, that kind of epidemic, I guess, of ransomware that is going on, um, which is kind of scary, right? Don't want to lose all of your access to all of your personal information, but that's one reason why you got to have secured networks and uh, you know pretty good passwords for your stuff, um, but also um, maybe not storing things, right? Having things stored in the cloud or in sort of secured locations is probably not a bad idea, right? Uh, Not keeping a lot of vital stuff actually on your computer itself. That way, if your terminal's locked up, you can always access it through another terminal. So um, it's funny, how much of our life is tied up with technology and computers now. Um, and that that can be taken away. The access to that being taken away could be so disastrous um, in some situations, right? So be careful with your information. Um, Access it carefully, safeguard it. We all know, right, that's a possibility. Um, but certainly more likely is the simple thing where people just have like a dumb password and someone will get into your computer. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten notifications from things like Facebook and Instagram um, that it seems I'm having trouble remembering my password when I haven't even logged in a long time. So I know that means someone is having trouble accessing, trying to access my account and not able to get in. Um, that's never a great feeling, but it seems pretty common, and it's nothing personal, right? I mean, it's just the bots, the automated systems that they have trying, um, not unlike someone walking through a parking lot, jiggling the handles of cars. In the olden days, right? People don't do that now because they'll set off the car alarms. But in the olden days, right, you'd go around, you jiggle the handle till you found one that was unlocked. Um, and that's pretty much what happens when these automated systems go through trying to get into people's different accounts. Um, so your best option is to just lock your door and make sure that you're not going to be an easy one to get into, right? Um, and that is it's kind of a insidious thing, right? So as um, the system changes, so do the cons, right? So um, you used to be able to break into someone's car like that. Now you try to get into their account like that, And then people do things like, they send out emails saying, that you're overseas somewhere and you need money, and, trying to contact people in your address book, seeing if they could find somebody to help them out, thinking that it's you, right? Then I was at the grocery store yesterday and approached by someone who, um, their credit card said their credit card wasn't working. Could I buy groceries for them on my credit card and then they'd pay me back or something, some kind of crazy thing. And I thought, good grief, this, yeah, I certainly have had my share of people, in the grocery parking lot or some parking lot ask me for, $5 in gas, or could I have $10 for gas? And when you say, well, where's your car? Um, I can help. I can go get you some gas, or you can come with me, and we'll walk over to the gas station. And I'll buy you some gas, or maybe you're in um, the Wawa parking lot and you offer to fill up their car, and they say, "Oh, no, that's okay. I just want the $5 or the $10 or whatever." Um, and right? They're just hitting you up for some cash. Um, but I guess nobody has cash anymore, right? That's everybody's. Oh no, I don't carry cash, right? So, and that's a good reason not to carry cash. Now the system changes and the con changes. So now we go into the store and we see if we can get somebody um, that might want to help us out with groceries. So yeah, you know I said no, and he walked away, and I talked to the store manager. So they, talked to him and escorted him out of the store. But you know, it's important to be on your guard, and that is something that maybe we don't talk about that much as yogis, right? We talk a lot about um, one, we all being one, and we all taking care of one another. And these things are true, right? We want to have an open heart. We want to listen to when people have something to say. We want to expect the best of people, right? We want to extend. And then that's what we call, what we talk about when we say we're all one. That means we're going to extend people the benefit of the doubt. We're going to listen to them when they have something to say. We're going to um, expect best intentions, right? This is a hard thing sometimes. We get stuck in these patterns of behavior with people where we are constantly looking at things from a perspective that is not helpful. So if we expect anytime someone wants to talk to us, anytime someone approaches us, anytime something out of the ordinary happens, it's going to be bad, then we are going to react very negatively. Maybe someone asks you for directions and you get angry, right? Maybe someone has a comment and you take it the wrong way, right? How we react to things is as much about our perception as what was actually said or done. Um, we want to give the benefit of the doubt and assume good intentions until proven otherwise, right? Because the second part of that is we don't allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. Um, we still have a mind, right? We still have that power of discrimination, and not discrimination in the negative sense, like uh, thinking, sort of against someone simply because of, some feature or something we think we don't like about them. Discrimination in the real sense, which is discriminating between one thing and the other, right? Is this real or is this a lie? Is this genuine or is this some kind of fake way, that someone is acting? Um, Part of getting very in touch with the self, with going within and understanding that connection, is that you get very clear, right? We talk about this intuition that we develop as a sort of a byproduct of becoming more aware of the big S self, right? When you're making that journey within and sort of communing and developing a relationship with that, it heightens our awareness of the things around us, um, good and bad, right? We are more aware of the energy and what people are putting out. So we our senses are heightened to this, because we are a little more awake than we were before. Before, maybe we just kind of stayed in our little place and we did not, look around or notice. Our perception is widened, but so has our intuition widened. So we are more aware, we see more, but we really see more, right? So people aren't you aren't as likely to be taken advantage of or um, taken unaware by people and the things that they do, because we get a sense, beyond what they say, beyond necessarily what they're doing, of their intention, right? We can feel when something's off, right? And you may have felt this in situations. Always listen to that feeling, right? If you're in a situation where someone is smiling and saying nice things and being so kind, but you're getting a very intense feeling that there is something off or wrong about this, listen to that feeling, right? That feeling will not steer you wrong. Um, Women, especially, have been taught to disregard that feeling, to smile, and to be kind and nice, for many reasons, right? One, certainly, we've been um, in society has sort of framed us in this role of peacekeeper and caregiver, and that one of our sort of feminine virtues is this kindness and generosity, right? Um, so going against that feels wrong, right? The other is, I mean, simply self-preservation, right? The sad fact is, um, as they say, a man's worst fear is a woman laughing at them, whereas a woman's worst fear is a man will kill her. Um, it's not over dramatic to say that, right? Frequently, women do put on a smile and tolerate things because they are afraid of what might escalate, right? What might happen if I really stood my ground, if I really told them what I thought? So there are good reasons why we have sometimes avoided um, listening to that voice inside, because it's at odds maybe with what we feel we are expected to do. Um, but how about you just let that go? How about you just listen to the voice? Because that voice is protecting you. That voice is looking out for you. Um, it's the most essential voice, beyond any other voice you might have in your head. So listen, right? And you will find, right, as you are working through this yoga path, you will become more aware of these things. You will have a greater sense of um, when you're in a good situation and when you're not in a good situation. And then you can take steps to remove yourself from that difficult situation. Um, don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Uh, Cause a scene if you need to. Get some help from the people around you. There is no reason for you to tolerate behavior that makes you feel uncomfortable. Right? That's not your job. Your job is not to accommodate the feelings of others over your own. It truly is not. Um, Doesn't mean we have to go and be provocative in the sense that we are looking for a fight, right? We're not going around with a chip on our shoulder waiting for somebody to just test us. But we are aware of um, what is okay and what is not okay, what is crossing the boundary, and we're not going to put up with it. Right? If you've put up with it in the past, you can always change and stop putting up with it. It may People around you may not like that. Too bad. Um, it's not your job to make other people feel comfortable. It's your job to take care of yourself. And this is the beauty, right, of when we talk about the yoga path, you being ultimately so responsible for yourself. That's the hard part, right? That's the hard part, is you are responsible for your happiness, for your contentment, for your peace of mind. You can't blame that on someone else, right? Someone else may have done terrible things to you, and that happens. But ultimately, it's your responsibility to make what you can of your life. And you can't be stuck blaming someone else for something that happened. You have to pick it up and move on, right? That's the hard part. The good part is that you get to take care of yourself. Um, if that means other people aren't too thrilled about it, hey, that's their problem, right? That is their issue to work through, not yours. Um, Establishing boundaries, establishing really your parameters around which you will not accept other people's garbage, right? No dumping here. Go put it in the can. It's really important, and it's kind of a wonderful thing, right? Because you get to discover how much you want to do and how much you don't want to do. Um, what can you do today? What could you do yesterday or tomorrow? They may be um, different things. You may come to different conclusions at different times in your life. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It's up to you to decide. And then let people know, right? So it's not okay to have these and not enforce them, right? It's like having rules that we don't enforce. It's pointless. If you're going to have boundaries, you want to make sure they're enforced, and you want to make sure people understand what they are, right? You can't be mad at people for trying to do the same thing that they've always done um, if they don't know the rules. So let them know, right? This is what I'm willing to do. This, right? At this point, it's too much. You're over the line here. Um, all of these things are important. Um, we, we talk a lot about the things we do that are hard. Some of these things aren't so hard, and they're really quite enjoyable, right? Um, Being able to have your own space in the way you want it is really a great thing, and something that all of us deserve. We deserve to feel comfortable in our own home, in our place, that we go to, in our sphere, I would say, right? Your sphere is maybe where you go, right? Um, it may be not everywhere in the world, right? There are places that we go that we may not feel comfortable, right? Maybe we have to go up there to do something, but it's not really our sphere and we're not feeling great there. Um, that's understandable, right? You're out of your element. But when you're in your space, um, you want to set it up so that you feel okay, that you are not walking on eggshells, right? Not afraid for what might happen, like the next thing, right? So see what you can do to make that happen for yourself. Um, and don't be afraid to say what you need. If you can't tell the people around you, at least tell yourself, and work on establishing what that is you need. You'll like that. You'll like that. And I hate to say it, but the sad fact is we do sometimes have to give people permission for this. Depending on how you were raised, you may really not even feel like you have the right to give yourself permission for this. So if you need permission, I'm giving you permission to do that. The universe is giving you permission to do that, encouraging you to do that, right? Because how are we going to be at peace? How are we going to establish that contentment in our mind if we feel powerless, if we feel under siege at all times from anything and everything around us? Our time then is not our own. Our day, our life is not our own. Right? We are at the whim and mercy of others. And that is not any way for any of us to live. Okay? So, let's do some asana. Let's sit up tall, soles of the feet together, and just leaning forward. Extend the legs. Let's point and flex the feet. Rotate through the ankles. One way and the other. Inhale, lift the arms high, and then fold. Back up, bring the arms behind. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades together. Gaze up. Left hand on the outside of the right knee, right arm behind. Sit tall, and then we're twisting. Pulling that right shoulder back. Coming back to center. Switch, deep breath, twist. And back to center. Let's bring the soles of the feet back together. Sit tall, lean forward. Back up, lift the knees. Let's catch a hold of the toes. Leaning back a little bit. Find that balance, and then some extension. Come on back down. And let's come into tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Back up. We're in tabletop, and then maybe just walk the hands out a little bit. We're going to lower down. Head turns right. Arms by your side. Head back to center. Let's bring the arms by your side. We're going to start lifting up, head and chest. And lower. Head turns left. And then head back to center. You're just going to start moving back up. So you can go up to tabletop, or you could do upward dog if you want.
Coming back to child's pose. Maybe stack the fists here or the hands, right? And just rest your head. And then we're back up, down to a seat, and then onto your back. Let's bring the right leg in. I'm just going to hug it in close. If you want to extend the leg here, you can. So you could have the hands behind the thigh, or maybe you're up on the calf, or if you can reach the toe, maybe extending a little more. See how it goes. And bring it down, switch sides. Same thing, some kind of extension here. And then back down. Take a breath or two. Bend knees again. Let's bring the ankle, top of the knee. Then your version of supine pigeon, either bringing that leg in or keeping the left foot on the floor. Whatever level of intensity is going to work for you today. Switch around. And then both feet back to the mat. Let's bump the knees together, feet apart. Just take a few breaths here. And then let's take the block. We're going to lift up, setting the block. Find a good place where you feel steady, and then maybe we bring the knees in. If you want, then you can extend the legs. And then bend the knees again. And we can set the feet down, remove the block, rest on the mat for a few breaths. Knees back to center. Bring them into the chest. We're going to extend the legs, moving into happy baby. We're grabbing onto whatever we can reach here, drawing the knees apart. Knees are bent, kind of angling towards the armpits. Here you can just stay in this space. If you feel like moving around is good. Sometimes things don't feel like they're in quite the right place. You've got a little pinch or something, and rolling a little bit will kind of resolve that. It'll let things kind of pop back where they are meant to be. Happy baby is a nice pose to hold for a good amount of time. We're not going to do that today, but in general, it's one that you could hold for a bit. If you look at it, it's kind of a restful pose in one sense, right? You're on your back. You're not really being asked to do anything. You don't have to hold your balance or anything. And usually it feels pretty good, at least at first. It doesn't feel bad. But as you hold this longer and longer, you get some feelings of where the strain is, where the stretch is. You start kind of understanding a bit about what's happening when in this pose, right? Where are we being asked to move? We can breathe through this. We can allow that ease to move through the pose from one place to another. If your lower back is bothering you here, see if you can relax it. Maybe then that shifts to the hips. See if you can relax them, and so forth. It's an interesting practice, right? To sit with a pose for a little longer than we might normally. Well, we kind of did a little bit. Knees together. Walk the feet to the outer edges. We've got hands either goalpost arms or extended out to a T. Lower both knees right. Maybe set your gaze left. Knees back to center, moving them left, gazing right. And then we're back to center. Just extend the legs long, and we will move into Shavasana. Put your arms wherever they feel comfortable. And breathe. Let your body relax into the mat, focusing on the breath and sensations that arise in the body. Being at peace, being still as possible, right? You don't have to be as still as a statue, but finding some stillness. Moving then as you like, fingers and toes, hands and feet, just getting the body moving again. And then making your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together, breath in and out. Thank you for taking time this morning for your yoga and for sharing your practice with me. I hope that you have a very good Wednesday. Namaste.
Great. Okay. 5-minute meditation. Sitting comfortably, relaxed, keeping that peaceful state of mind, focusing on the breath. Something very simple, keeping your focus here. Don't allow the attention to wander off. Pardon me. Well, at least I waited till the end. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that was a peaceful 5 minutes up until my sneeze. And I hope you have a really good day. I'll be back tomorrow.